Patty Radish. Welcome to my channel. It has been quite a while since I've made a video, and I think I usually begin most of my videos with that introduction. I get a little overwhelmed with all the editing and, making mistakes, all that fun stuff. So I usually just I keep putting it off till I feel like I'm in the mood, and therefore there's like 6 months between videos, which is not really optimum. So I'm gonna get through this video and edit things that I feel like I don't need to actually have in the video, and this might be one of them. You never know. So this is the journal I'm going to be working on today. I thought it would be fun just to get in here and just start working, and like I said, edit anything that I was just like, yeah, that's unnecessary. But just a background on this, as you can see, it's in pretty kind of poor condition. It used to have a different cover on it. I tore it off. It made the cover so super thin that I put these washi, these are washi sheets that I bought from Michael's years ago, and they just kind of save me once in a while, just because they're just so much easier than adhering paper sometimes. But this is what the paper used to look like. You can see it's been through the mill a bit. It's got these are like little glue spots from getting my desk so dirty. But I worked on it yesterday. It's a redo. What it is I'm going to call it a remodel, right? So this is what a lot of the pages look like because I basically destroyed this journal. It had a purpose. I wasn't very happy with the direction that purpose was going in, so I shelved it. And I'm one of those people that I've tried throwing things away in the past, and I always end up digging them out of the trash again. So instead of doing that, I actually just decided to tear it up, start from scratch, and for some reason, when I went through all of my fun stuff, I found this. It's just a little card with a little bit of a quote on it. I'm not sure if you can really call that a quote, but it's an affirmation. And I thought, right now, beginning of the year, goal setting, so many things to do. I just felt like it'd be nice to have something that was kind of a positive message. And once I put that in there, I was like, wouldn't this be a fun quote journal? Somebody who I really, really love her work is White Sugar Designs. Her name's Claudia, and she is just so talented. I love her to death. I'll put a link to her YouTube channel in the comments below, or in the information below. But so I decided that I was going to make this a quote journal with lots of, affirmations and positive thinking. And I'll be honest with you, this is what I worked on last night. And you know what? I'll tell you something. Trust your heart could not have been more appropriate for me to just kind of have in the back of my mind while I was trying to get all this stuff put on here. It's a mishmash of old and new and, just whatever just kind of is in my little stash at the time. And I just absolutely love those kinds of journals. But to me, this is something you could put a picture there. You could put a journal card and do some journaling. You could do both. You can do all of it. That's what I love about these journals. And so I have lots of journals that I do these pockets. And then I'll write on the back of them, little thoughts and little, just how I'm feeling at the time. And then I don't really have to share my journaling. I'm not a fan of sharing my journaling. I've mentioned that in the past. But these are just things that I've had hanging around forever. As you can see here, I have the date, and I like the idea that even though it says 2018, and you definitely see the date there, it kind of still goes into the background a little bit if you just put the washi tape on there. So this is another page that I did, and I just had a blast with this one too. I do take my time looking for the bits that I want to use, the quotes that I want to use. But basically, I'm going to show you, of course, I'm going to show you how I start the whole thing out. And I do kind of have a bit of a process that I use when I'm doing this. This is the next page. I think, yeah, this is the next page. And as you can see, I did some journaling here, but, you know, I don't know if I'm going to cover that up. I'll probably just cover some of it up. We'll see how it works. But I'm just going to kind of dive in now. If I feel like there's something I definitely need to share, I'll pop in, I'll talk, and I'll edit, and we'll get through this together. So usually the first thing I start with is trying to figure out like what paper might look best for the kind of the long haul, the larger. And I'm not too terribly picky because what I really like is the randomness. And so to me, the first one I picked was this one. I mean, it was upside down, but for some reason, I'm just really liking the way it kind of balances with the color over here. One thing about this journal is I threw this thing together with just nothing but colored cardstock. And you know, I do a lot of erasing, as you can see. But then so I just stapled it together with a long arm stapler that I have, and then went over it with gesso. And then that's just kind of the background. Just because I really like the challenge of having something that is really not too terribly attractive to try to dress up. I guess that's kind of how that goes. So this is something that, of course, you know, anybody could start from scratch on. I just felt like it was time for me to finally finally come out and make another video. And so I thought, I'm working on this. It needs to be taken care of. I might as well, you know, do something with it and use it for, you know, use it for a video. I keep doing everything out of, you know, camera because I get crowded and kind of befuddles me. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of pop in with commentary once in a while. But what I've been trying to do with this one is trying to incorporate as much of my little bits of vintage ephemera as I can. Of course, I'm using the stamps, those are kind of vintagey, but I haven't been using them as much. I'd like to kind of get back to that, so I think I'm going to go ahead and grab that. So as you can see, let's see now, vintage ephemera. So these are what I use. I'm going to stand up so I can. So yeah, you can see those. So I label everything so I can just kind of grab them. This is the smallest, my little tiny bit small, medium. I have them all labeled for a reason because it's just so much easier to grab and keep organized. Because I do, like I said, I have a you know, kind of a process that I use when I'm doing this. And I've been using, the reason why I've been using the flowers is because you can kind of, to cover up certain things like this kind of ugliness right here. And plus I have these little leaves. I can put a flower here and it'll kind of almost like cover all this kind of grossness here and here and use those leaves as part of the, you know, kind of the floral look, which I think I'm going to try doing right now. The problem is finding the right flowers. That's, you know, the right size, right color. I like that. So what I do when I try to, when I find one I like that it goes with this. This is actually a photocopy of some of my favorite fabric. So it's just so colorful. Once you use it, you're like, oh, yay, gone. But if you photocopy it, you can use it in your art, which is like super awesome. But I like the way those two look together. But what I try to do is I try to find like the group that this came with. I think that this was some store-bought ephemera. A lot of this is just cut from scrapbook paper. I just fussy cut it out of scrapbook paper. And super inexpensive way to get some beautiful florals for your projects. I think I've mentioned that before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. So this guy's going there. Now all I have to do is find something that looks, like it. Like that. That was cut from some, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that that was cut from some scrapbook paper. This one might, yeah. That's some pretty, yeah, that must be too. I don't know. Oh, look at that. That might work. Yeah, I think I like that. Oh, yay. Okay, so over here, I'm not sure if I want to, sometimes I try to use different flowers on the other side. But, see, that one's a corner. So that could either do that or that. They're very much alike, but I don't know. It's doing something for me. Then I could just put some washi tape over that and call her good. Just what I think I'm going to do. So this is where I try to look for the quote cards that might work after I feel like I've covered up kind of the older, issues, the problems, so to speak. But see, something like that. But then again, that doesn't have. It's so much like the background, but it's the perfect size. I don't worry so much about what it says because I don't put them in my little container here unless I like what it's saying. So, but I want something kind of small, but not that. That's kind of a little bit too small. So that's a really nice size, but the color's not working for me. But sometimes you might find something that you think, oh my gosh, that would never work, and you throw it on there and you're like, wow, I really actually like that. Like that. Like I would have never thought that would work. But I believe it does. And even if it doesn't, you know what, I am not one to overthink it. Well, at least I try not to overthink it. I overthink too many things to overthink something this simple, so... but I love, see this flower right here? That's like one of my favorite parts of that little aspect. But I'm going to try to pull this little stem up without tearing it off. Because I think it would be kind of fun to have it be a part of the little quote piece. There. Yeah, there you go. I like that. The reason why I use this on some things is because if I want to be able to reposition it, this stuff works out a lot better. It doesn't take long for this to adhere to the point where it's going to tear up your page if you try to take it off. So that's why I use the two different. This is just a bit pricey to use all the time, so I try to keep it to a minimum. Unless I'm in a hurry. Yeah, that little stem, you know, when you think about it, you know, it's not much, but sometimes it's those little things that kind of make me happy. So, but yeah, see how fast that just, I realized that the page was like half done anyway. So it's like, wow, you know, that didn't take long, but it's just fun to actually have something go that quickly, to be honest with you. And I'm loving all the color here. You know, I'm just like that. I think that one's really going to work just because of the color. And I just feel like there's not enough going on this page for that to live there. I kind of hate to cover that up, but that color is working for me on a fundamental level. Okay, so I'm kind of feeling like I need something up in this area right here that's going to kind of balance the color. And the only color I could think of that I need to balance over there maybe would be some green. And I thought maybe another flower. But I have a lot of green. I have a lot of stamps that have green in them. And so this is one that's so cute. I don't know why, but I just love this little guy. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna, I don't know. He may need to live there. I've been looking for a home for that little one for so long. I think, you know what? Throw caution to the wind. Just get that on there. Ooh. There, he has a home. And look at all the purple in that. That would be kind of fun. Let that look through my stash real quick. But I'm liking the way, I mean, it's not super overdone, but see, we've got the dots here, here, and here. That balances that. We've got the 3 flowers. There's some balance there. Of course, there's stamps. For some reason, I usually try to balance that kind of thing too. So if I were to put one here, then, you know, could I put one here? Would that balance it? Or maybe down here? Like that. Yeah. You know what? It's a submarine captain. He loves gardening. Let's go for it. Oh no, it's a dirigible. That's not a submarine. Check it out. It's flying. It says first Zeppelin flight. Goodness gracious. That's just like me thinking a Zeppelin is a submarine, right? My dad would be proud. Let's see. Oh goodness, I like that. Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is done. And I'm really liking it a lot. So now it's time for the pencil. All right, so I thought I was done, and then I saw this little bee thing, which I absolutely love. And I'm like, you know, it's just that kind of time of year, and I'm wondering if maybe adding a string of bees might, I don't know, it's cute, but I'm kind of feeling like it's a little bit, I think there's enough stuff going on this page. I thought that would work out, but I'm kind of, I don't know. I wish you were here and then you could help me. You know what? It's spring. Well, it's almost spring. It feels like spring. We're springing forward on Sunday, so we might as well call it spring. There. You know what? Some bees are flying. All right, so desk is cleared. Now I'd like to do the pencil part. So this is an 8B. It can be a little bit, I don't know, can you see? Yeah. This one can be a little bit messy. And then when I'm erasing, it can make too much of a mess. And sometimes I'm just not in the mood for all that cleanup. I do have some, here's a 6B. You can't say, it's already, you know, you can't see that on there. But I think I'm going to go with a 6B this time just so I don't have to clean up as much. So a lot of people, some people might, you know, ask why I do this. It's for contrast, and it kind of gives it a little bit of an artsy feel. I go back over it with the eraser to just kind of shadow it in. I've talked about this in my other videos, but it's worth mentioning. I like things to not look so neat and clean, as you can probably imagine. My work has a tendency to be a little bit, I don't know, kind of eclectic and a little bit on the messy side. You know, I like, when I make cards and stuff like that, I try to keep things nice and neat. But when I'm working in my art journals, I try to give it a little bit of kind of a grunge look. So that's why. And this part right here had already been done with the original work that I had done in this art journal. But this is actually one of my favorite things. My favorite parts is because I usually clean my desk and then get out the pencil and eraser and just kind of put the final touches. And when I make it, it's kind of fun because I make little mistakes here and there, and then the eraser goes over it and it's like, yeah, guess what? There, it's gone. What mistake? Here's a little close-up of the pencil. You can see the pencil gives a little contrast.